Phil, tell me where we are. The big one.
The big one.
This is for the award ceremony. Let's get it.
Where'd Tommy go? Down there.
Oh, food. Oh, Tommy, come on, let's go.
We got a pitcher and a ball for you guys. Thank you for what you've done this year
No problem.
and being our biggest fans. And appreciate it.
No accidents happen like that. We're good.
We'll get that. We'll get the interview later.
Okay.
We got to get Coach Banks today.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Not now. We'll get it after.
All right, thank you. We're good. Not too loud. There we go. We're all good.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yes. 13-12. But, this best record that I've been part of. Player, coach, any team. And I'm proud of these guys. We were 8-11 going into playoffs. We were Class C, Section 3 champs, regional champions. First Final Four state trip since 1986. I was 2. So, it's pretty cool. We talk about adversity. I have down here regrets. I put this in because this was funny. Towards the end, all of us, we started getting, more press, getting interviewed more. And it's funny, the last few games, they asked me if I regretted anything. Is there anything and I thought that was really funny. And I'm like, no. And right to the beginning of the year, even our start, none of it. Because, what happened through the beginning of the year, what happened at the end, the middle, it makes the players better, it makes me better. And I always tell my teams that I'm not done learning. And I feel like as a coach, teacher, player, if you think you know everything or you think you're done, then you should be done. So this year I learned a lot. I'm excited. We got a new group this summer. Excited for next year. Excited to have Devin on board and Mike, and it's just great. So no regrets. The adversity, everything that happened helped this year go. We learned from mistakes. We were actually more humble, and I talked to a few parents. I really feel like we were more humble at the end of the year than we were in the beginning of the year, even the way they walked around school. And I think they saw it. It became a big deal. Everyone wanted to be part of it, which was really cool. I had, and their kids are kids. Other students come in like, Coach, why do you guys stink? What are you doing? And then all of a sudden it's like, Coach, I'm going on the bus, spectator bus. So it goes from one extreme to the next. And it was awesome. And, you guys, you battled through some stuff. We obviously had, we had a tough start. We had people we didn't know they would be up. People that went up and down. We had people that changed positions. We had people that took certain roles. I am never been so proud of 15 guys I am now. And yes, Whittle, you too. But just great job this year. Grew stronger. We grew stronger as a family. It was on if you caught the one interview they did, the news came down, and it's tough. I guess I'm appreciating it more now. Some of that stuff drove me nuts. Laura would tell you to go home, and it's like, you got to do this interview, you got to do that. It's not, it's going to get us off track. I didn't love it at the time, but it was good for the kids. Pretty neat that a news station came all the way up here. And I'm bringing that up now because they talked about it. We used to team up as family, and then we ended up teaming up as No Reason. And I don't even know where that came from or how it came about. I know I said it at one point. I think is when we started, the first undefeated win. That Little Falls win, and we just did that. And when we said No Reason, we teamed it up 2-3 No Reason. We meant there's no reason we can't win. There's no reason we can't keep going. And they really learned that just not to be satisfied. I mean, we beat Little Falls, the undefeated team. Obviously, we beat Westmoreland. And we went into Chatham, and I really thought back, the last few days, there's another undefeated team, and no one, on their face, not one of us thought we'd go in there and lose. And I think it's tough because I've seen other really good teams. I've played on some good teams. I've coached other good teams. And you can hit a point where you become satisfied. And we won a sectional championship. And I know when I talk to Laura about things, that was always a dream of mine. But then when you win that, it's all the dreams regional. Then you get that. Now you know what the next dream is. So we'll get back to that. And I think it's funny, a few people said that, we kind of set a stage and, just keep working to get to that point. And it isn't, you're not even going to remember the win or the championship, the sectional win or the regional win or the making the state semifinals. You remember how we got there, what happened in between that. The relationships you made, the bus rides we had, the hotel trip we had. And that's pretty neat. Now we have a few seniors not here, but I gotta mention that. And we're gonna go one by one. And our juniors, even some of the sophomores, but we started in 3rd and 4th grade. And I remember, it's crazy. I had a few of them. I had Creedon and Jake. I was teaching at West Leyden, and they're my 3rd graders coming in. And I remember our first Willie Putnam trip. All the parents, you guys were on board. And it doesn't feel like that long ago, but it's pretty neat just to see everybody's growth. And not just as an athlete, but to see your guys' growth as people. And now I know you guys are going to go off to college, and you're going to find something great to do. And, I'm going to keep in touch with you guys. You guys still keep in touch with me. And it's just cool to see a guy like this come back. He's got a good job. He's got a family, coach now. It's cool. That's what really makes me happy when that happens. Go to batting average now. So we'll do team stats. Our team batting average was 286. On base was 372. Slugging was 399. And we had 8 home runs as a team. And that's a big stat. If you look at the actual stat line, not crazy. But I think that's a cool part of this year, and I'll get to that more. Pitching-wise was up there. We did very well. Team ERA was 2.374. We had 170 strikeouts to 117 base on balls, and we had a whip of 1.483. I think that's neat that it just proves, and this actually gave me confidence as a coach, you don't need a team that's batting 600. Now, I don't know if you guys followed, but the last 3 teams we played, they're 1 through 8 batted over 500. Chatham had 5 kids batting over 600. And we had 4 kids batting over 300. It just showed that we bought it. And that's one thing I've said to any other team I've ever coached. It's not just about a stat. And the last 3 weeks, every one of these guys, they could care less about a stat. They were going to do whatever was needed to win the game. And, we bought in. We were a team. We were played not for ourselves. We played for our team. Our bunt game. And I've never even was a big coach with bunting as much as we were this year, but we made other teams make plays. And the cool part is, when I gave a kid a bunt sign this year, I could see it in their eyes, Coach, I'm going to get it down. I'm going to do what we need to do. I've had other teams where I'd give them a bunt, they would do it, but they didn't want to do it. And just super proud of that. There's a quote that I actually took when I was with the Whites, Colin had an award last week, and I really liked it. And it says, the strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. And it was by Phil Jackson. And it's basically saying, yes, each person, that 1/9 or that 1/10, each person has a job. And you put all that together, they all do their job, you're going to be all right. And it's just awesome. You think back, those numbers, you take the Chatham pitcher, take even the Lansing pitcher, was similar. The last pitcher we faced, he had 1 hit in 17 innings, I think 2 hits in 40 innings. And it's crazy. You play, and we were right there with them. We outworked teams. We bought into our plan. And the cool part is, we have juniors and sophomores coming back. We have our pitching coming back. We have great playoff experience. And that's through the whole year. The boys had a good year, starting in the fall all the way through. Seniors, we got some spots to fill. You guys, really stepped up. You really came around at the end. We're going to miss you. But, this whole year was great. And the one thing that and I'll get more to when we get into the players, just if each year, you can buy into that coach. And it doesn't even matter. I'm not even saying me. I learned as a player and I'm learning as a coach. But you take a coach, a teacher, any group that you're in, if you can buy into that coach's plan and you can be humble, you can be unselfish, and you can work hard, you can do great things. All right. And it's, very proud. And I'm just, I honestly think this year even gave our family more energy with baseball, because it does take a toll. I love my family, love our kids, and it's busy. Especially I got to thank Laura again. It's crazy. This week was crazy, but this year we loved it. It's all we talked about, and I'm excited what we got moving forward. So now we'll get to each player here. Hope that wasn't too long. I know the fan maybe stopped, but we're gonna start with Whittle. Aaron, come on up. Yep, called you Aaron.
Oh, what? Who's got a first name?
All right, so Whittle. Whittle he's loved by our team and other teams at that. He actually started during Legion last year, and he started coming around. He gave us drinks here and there, told us, wanted to play one-on-one at the park. But he came around, he wanted to be there. And so we had a conversation with summer or fall. Fall. I'm like, Whittle, you got to be part of this team. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, we got to get you on board. So we decide he's going to go on board, and he keeps me on my toes. Because I'll start going and I'll get on something, and then I don't have the lineup and I got that. And he says, Coach, lineup. Need it. Coach, got to get roster in. Got to get it. So it's nice to have him. No, I've never had this before, but we actually had like 3 or 4 students asked to be manager after our run. They came in, they're like, Coach, you need managers next year. Whittle's in contract. So Whittle's got 1 more year. I told him you got to hold on for another year. They're kind of mad, but Whittle, we got your back, all right? But dedicated, loved by our team, like I said. Helpful, been around since summer. He was a big superstition guy for us. He actually went to Syracuse to get Gatorade before every playoff game, basically, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of gas money.
So he would go out, he'd get Gatorade, he'd fill it, and we did the same thing. We had a few goofy things happen, and I don't think if that happened, you actually calmed me down. And we won't get into what happened, but pregame stuff, that helped a little bit, brought our team together before playoff games, and it's a big part of it. Great to have around, and I just want to thank you. And you were part of this. So you actually, in this binder right here, or this folder, you're getting a Varsity Award, you're getting a Sectional and Regional Champion Award on the plaque, and thanks again, Whittle. We're going to start with our 10th graders. Isaac Cronizer. Now, this whole group of 10th graders, just awesome to know we got this whole group around for a few more years. And, it's funny. I didn't know we'd have this many up, but some good stuff happened. If it wasn't for the whole group, we wouldn't be where we were today. Isaac, he was number 1 up and down early in the year, and it reminds me of me and a lot of other players. Banksy would have been that way. Mike would probably have been that way. You want to play. So I had talks with mom in school here or there, and is he up, is he down? And, he's like, Coach, I want to play, I want to hit. So really, from the start, I'd say you want to be JV. Yeah. And he's like, we had some stuff happen. So obviously the Varsity at the beginning of the year had to bring some guys up, and he just puts the ball hard in play. He got up, and it didn't matter who it was. I think the first game that really surprised me was Little Falls game. I shouldn't say surprised me, but impressed me. He had a couple big hits, and we beat an undefeated team, and he's just like, all right, when's my next game? Is it JV? Is it varsity? It's on to the next game, and I was impressed with that. And real funny part is, that's tough for this guy because he thinks he has these guys, and all of a sudden they're gone. So I was like, we're gonna bring Isaac back down. He goes down. You shouldn't have told me this. You knew you shouldn't have told me. Hits a home run. I'm like, well, that doesn't help him for JV. So I was like, I ponder on that a little bit, but good. Good to hear that. You want your whole program to do well. So when you hear that, that's awesome. But that's a big part. He loves to compete, wants to play. He actually even had a big game in left field. So that was another thing. He was able to play first. He played left. He DH'd. I had to talk with Dad, like kind of middle of playoffs, and I actually thanked him. I said, appreciate for you letting your son buy into this, and being up on varsity. He was just hitting, and that's a role. And he never complained. He's like, Coach, whatever you want me to do. If he was on JV, he probably would have pitched. He would have played third, first, but he came up, hit the ball hard, and it was just that part we need. We needed him to be an offensive specialist, and I appreciate that. The Bash Brothers used to call him. So Isaac and Jerry, they're our DHs who went back and forth, and it was pretty neat to see that. And they knew the role. We told both of them be ready at any time. If you're not in, be ready to hit. If you're in, hit. Very coachable, team player, passionate. this was another thing with Isaac. If he didn't hit the ball in a game, and this happened more than once, and I'm not trying to embarrass you, but he would literally come up to me and he'd be so upset. It's like, I lost the game for us. And, you don't always get that. He'd be, coach, that's my bad. I lost the game for us. And it's, you'll grow and you'll learn that, it's a game of failure. And, I feel that. But at the same time, he's that passionate about the game. He wants to give it his all. He wants to do anything he can to get us a W. The sectional championship. This is also funny. And we work in the same building, so I see Mom. We were about to leave, and I said, yeah, Isaac might play third today. She's like, oh, all right. Strobel was sick, and we had to get him ready. Would we have 1 or 2 practices? And I was like, you play third? He's like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. So he was ready to go. And until the last minute, Strobel said, I'll push it through. He was ready to do it. And, that's the type of team we had, and it was every guy. If we called on someone, they would do it. And that's a big thing I'm proud of this year. Big hits. He had a big hit in Cooperstown playoff game and a huge hit in the sectional final game against Westmoreland. His awards, he's getting the Varsity Award. He's getting the state semifinalist award. They all get pins. He's getting sectional and regional champion award. And thanks, Isaac. Appreciate it. And I think it's a funny closer. Be ready to throw tomorrow. Because he's still going. He's throwing, he's pitching. We're playing this summer. So congratulations, Isaac. Bailey, another one of our sophomores. Bailey pitched, played first base, and he really came on strong as the year went on. And I knew he'd hit the ball for us. I know he'd be a big role. Early in the year, I feel like he wasn't where he wanted to be. We made one adjustment. We raised his hands a little bit. He got a couple hits, got confident. And the one stat, I didn't actually realize this until a couple nights ago. He actually went 9 for 20 offensively in the postseason, which is a pretty big number. So from Cooperstown all the way to Chatham, that's what you hit. So you were 9 out of your 20 in bat. So that was big. Going through his stats, he batted .342, which is 4th on the team. His on-base percentage was .383, which is 4th on the team. Slugging percentage was .500, which is 3rd on the team. Doubles, he had 10, which was 1st on the team. RBIs, 18, which was 4th on the team. Pitching, he threw 10.2 innings, a 2.625 ERA with 10 strikeouts. Big role now this summer. He's pitching a lot with us. And it's just awesome. We're playing games, and he's going to have a lot to bring next year too. Like I said, he became clutch as the year went on. When we had runners on, I knew he was going to put the ball hard in play. He's humble, team player, hard worker, and there's a few guys that this is really cool. And I feel like, I don't know if you guys know Bailey. You say he's a quiet kid, doesn't talk a lot, but really once you get to know him, he's funny. He's not scared to give it back to someone. If someone says something, he'll give it back to us in his own way. But you guys know what I'm talking about, Bailey. So you'll break Bailey's chops and Bailey will say something right back, and I'm like, thanks, Bailey to say that? No. But it's cool, that when you really get to know a guy like that and trust each other, it was funny to see that come out. His big games, he had a big game against Pulaski, Bishop, Ludden, Westmo, and Lansing. They're all huge clutch hits. I think he had 4 games. He had 2 hits, 2 doubles versus Cooperstown that playoff game. He had a triple and a double versus Canastota. His awards this year, he's getting the Varsity Award, the state semifinalist certification award. He's going to get the pin. He's getting the regional and sectional final award, and he's actually getting a team award for us, which is the clutch hitter award, which is on one of the pearls. Awesome job. Thanks. Looking forward to next year. Awesome job. So another guy up and down. It's funny because him and Isaac, they were able to come down a lot, which is awesome being up at the high school. You get to see the kids a lot, and there's time to get them in, and they used to always come down together when they had free time. They were able to throw. 10th period, they were able to hit. And we had conversations, and we didn't really have a plan. They asked what's the plan. I'm like, probably JV. We'll bring up if we need you. And he's a guy that came up pretty quick. I want to say out of our 25 games, he played in 23. So something that I don't think he expected, but he rose to the occasion. And he showed us right away that he's a varsity player. that he was ready for it. He was mature enough for it. Very proud of that. His stats I want to point out. He had 11 base on balls, which was second. He had 6 hit by pitches, which was first, and he had 360 on base percentage. So not scared to wear it if we need it either. So which we'll take that. I already said JV up and down. Defensively, this is when he first came up, and it was tough because we had some older guys there, and really we found right around Little Falls, like midway point, we found our set. That stayed pretty. Once we found that, even the boys got more comfortable with it. And when he went to second, and that's one thing we'll talk about it. And that was Strobe was playing there for a little. Even Strobel was like, that's Al's spot, which I was proud of him for saying that. And Strobe ended up finding his role at third when Connell was pitching, and it was tough to take him off that spot. He made actually a big defensive play at Little Falls. Ball hit to Bailey. Pitcher doesn't cover. He comes back, Ryan second, and covers the bag. Remember that play? And where I'm looking, I'm like, that's a big time play. And that was a big win. That we needed that win to get us going a little bit. Also made a huge stab at Lansing. I don't know if you guys remember. Hopefully, you didn't see our faces or hear us the whole time. We probably had the worst infield outfield that I've ever seen this year. And, I was just like, oh boy, this is bad. But the very first inning, he came in and he made a diving play, threw him out at first, and that got us sparked a little bit. So, all of us had those moments, but that was one of the big moments. Became our leadoff hitter as a sophomore. Big reason we did that, and we weren't sure. Creedon was there. We had Gabe there a little bit. He saw a lot of pitches. And Creedon, and we'll talk about that, he was able to buy in a bunt, so Creedon was able to bunt him over. And it was just great to see him take that role. And he was fine with it. He's like, I'll do it. Same thing, if he's down at JV, he pitches, plays short, and plays more. And, he pitches more. And he bought in. He's like, Coach, anything you need. Love post guys, committed. Big multi-hit games. He had 2 hits at Sherburne early. The first playoff game, he had 3 hits against Cooperstown, which is huge. His awards. He is getting the Varsity Award. He is getting the State Semifinals Award. He's getting a PIN, the Sectional Regional Award. And our team award for him, because we're looking, and it's tough. All these sophomores can get a bunch of awards. But I'm looking at sophomores at their first year coming up. And I think I talked to Devin, had to go to him. He came up and really made he was a big part of the team, and he's going to get the team Rookie of the Year. Thanks, Al. Big year next year. Just talking to his grandparents, which was awesome. They came from Tennessee. Nice meeting them. He was always around, and I'm grateful for that. I actually, not going back to I love being in this district. I love phys ed. I love the little kids. One of the biggest things I'm grateful for is seeing these young men in the building and, being part of their daily lives. Just anything. They got something going on. You get to see them. And I remember when I was there, you get to see people, might be something going on that day, what's going on, not just for you, but for everyone. But he's someone that always stops in. And, even when I'm down, he's like, Coach, you all right? Didn't sleep last night, huh? So he knows when I'm not myself either. But he came in, he hit, I think, every day in the fall. That was big. And big role that he had to buy into. We needed 2 catchers. We wanted Brett to pitch a little bit. And varsity, you need 2 catchers that can play. And the big thing about this year, I didn't say it yet as a team, but our team, we actually have guys that would start every inning on other teams. We have pitchers on this team that might be a 2 here to be a 1 on other teams. And that's when you're good. Because I really mean that. With Jerry and Brett, they both can catch. And, you're on another team, you're probably starting catching. So you bought into that role coming up, being able to DH, being able to be a catcher. And I appreciate that. Good bat. He was a DH, like I said, with Isaac. Second catcher. Great experience for next year. Loves baseball. Off season hits and catches all the time. He's got a bright future. He comes cold off the bench. When we had Brett coming in for closing, even games that we're not sure if we're going to put Brett in, Jerry's suited up. He's at defense, ready to go, ready to get called. And I go down to some big games. The biggest game I got to say was one of Max's big pitching games at Loudville. Max threw a great game. We ended up bringing Brett in to close, and he threw a kid out. And that's tough. You don't see, other teams like, they put in their backup catcher. We're going to steal. and he comes up and fires them out, and that was huge. And I think that was a big win that sparked us to be like, all right, we're ready. After that win, like we're ready to play for playoffs. That was huge. First HP game, he had 3 hits. Second HP game, we pinch hit him cold off the bench, hits a double. Those are big things you remember, and you remember that for next year. Thank you, Jerry. Keep working hard. Keep wanting to get better. It's for everybody here. His awards he's getting today, he's getting the Varsity Award, sectional and regional awards, state semifinal certificate, pin, and big year next year. First, outfield catcher. No one's going to be ready. Good job, Jerry. Now, this sophomore coming up, and he's going to be one of those guys where other teams are going to say when he's a senior, it's like, he's a senior? I thought he was a senior last year. Because he had some big innings for us in 9th grade. So, I knew Max is going to come in huge for us this year. Early in the year, we thought he might have a big injury, and I think he had it. He's a tough kid, and he didn't want to tell me that, and we got through that. When I look at Mac, first I'll start offensively with Max. He ended up with 22 plate appearances. He had some good at-bats, great bunt towards the end of the year. And I tell you what, later in the year, cage time looked really good. And I'm starting off with this because just like I told you about buying in, this guy bought in. He was an exceptional right fielder, and he was fine being that defensive specialist. He did that. Pitching-wise, he was our 1B. Next year, you don't even know. He is an ace. Colin's an ace. And when you can have 2 guys like that, it's huge for your team. And we had our coaching staff had all the confidence in the world on him. When we went, I'll go down to it right now. You go down to that Bishop Ludden game, we don't win that game, we don't get to the championship. And Max threw a great game. 1 hitter that game. The Lowville game that he threw, I believe that was a 2-hitter, another great game. So he really, towards the end of the year, came on strong. You grew as an athlete. You got more confident. Your demeanor was better, and that's huge. Next year is going to be big for you. He's not with us this summer, but he's playing ball. He's playing travel ball. He still tells me about it, and that's all that matters. We want him to pitch. Go hit, go get experience, and we're ready for that. Next year, I could see him playing both ways too. Great at bats. He's got a great work ethic. So anything he puts his mind to, he can go get. Pitching this year, he had 3 wins, which was second on the team. 35 strikeouts, which was second on the team, and he was second with innings pitched. Just like I said, Max was our 1B or 2, but we had confidence all year. And even going to the end, which I also am proud of you. We're thinking after Cooperstown, we were able to get great game. That was an awesome game. Colin threw, and we had enough runs. We pulled Colin early, so we weren't sure. We talked about it. That next game against Pulaski, which I think was one of the biggest games, it was either going to be Max or Colin, but it was awesome to have that opportunity, and he was ready. And I look at going to the last game now. He wanted Colin to go get it. He's like, Colin, go get Chatham. I'm going to get that last game. So if Colin, you did your job. If we say we get a couple hits and we get there, you're going to win that game. Max is getting the Varsity Award this year. He's getting the pin. He's getting the state semifinalist award, certification award. He's getting the sectional and regional champion award. And for team award, he's getting excellence in pitching. Max, awesome job. Big part of what we did this year. Keep working hard. I'm looking forward to next year. Gabe Shahak. Gabe, first junior. It's funny, I put in the top, and I haven't been saying to everyone, like positions they play, but I got infield, outfield, pitcher, utility to outfield. And I'll start with stats, but I'll get back to that. So stats, he had 15 base on balls, first on the team. 7 sack bunts, was tied in first on the team. 6 stolen bases, which was third in the team. And he pitched in the game, in one game, and he got the job done. So he was ready to do whatever he needed to do. Gabe, first and last on the field. And, that was something all year. And not everybody notices that, but coaches know that. We see that. he really developed as a leader, helped players going. You know, I'm lucky to have the help we have, but it's tough. You know, there's some big schools, and it's not an excuse, but there's some big schools that have 5, 6 coaches. And even my wife yelled at me at one time, like, oh, it's tough. These other teams got these coaches. She's like, you don't make excuses. What are you doing? Just go. So it's not an excuse, but the point I'm trying to make is you need people to buy in on your team. And he did that. Because the one thing you can ask these guys, when I see standing around, I just start getting real nervous. Like, I'll start pacing. Like, we got to do more. We got to get going. We got to get prepared. And that's something that he would do. He'd be like, who's on the tee? Who's on heavy ball? Who's on ground ball lines? And that's huge. That's something I really saw. I appreciate that. Now going back to infield. So halfway point of the year, he wouldn't tell me, but he didn't like it. He wasn't having fun. He was mad. You know, coach, you got me in the outfield. I don't get ground balls anymore. And I don't think he loved the game as much. You can see it. But I knew it was there. And, you know, I get it. You know, I had the same thing. I was glad to play first one year when I played. And, you know, I'm a third baseman. How dare you put me in first? I had the same thing, and I ended up figuring it out, bounce back and forth. It's tough because, you know, like I said, the reason we did what we did is because people bought into a plan. And we told them, we talked to the coaching staff, if you're not in the outfield, we have trouble. And I really think at the end of the year, from left to center to right field, we had the best outfield out there. And we had 3 guys that go get balls. So now, you know, we got big shoes to fill, and I'm hoping that he can go fill that. I think, you know, he goes to that center field spot once we get him healed up there. But he made some plays in the sectional final game and the Chatham game that I've never seen. It's I've told players that, you know, you got to be able to run in the wall for me. Like, run through a wall. And he ran through a wall. So, but, you know, that's huge. And they asked me that game, like, do you think your players gave it their all? I'm like, a kid ran through a wall. Yeah, they did. So, you know, that's awesome to see him. My brother called me, and he's like, he was an outfielder, and he's like, wow, what was that? Did he really run on the wall? Like, he didn't even see it. So, and it's funny because my wife was nervous, and a few other people were nervous. They were saying, like, when I stepped by, actually, my mother-in-law was, when I stepped back, they thought he was, like, really hurt. And it looked bad, but when I'm running to him, all he was yelling was like, Coach, don't take me out. Don't take me out. I'm fine. He wasn't going to get off until I said, hey, it's fine. We can re-enter you. I wasn't going to re-enter him, but he thought it wasn't coming off. So that was pretty funny. But like I said, bought in, played a great outfield. You know, would bunt when we need him to bunt. And I'll talk about some big games. You know, like I said, Chatham game, Westmont game, 2 huge defensive games for him. You go to the regional game, which is funny because we had a conversation too, like right before that game. And I think he's just frustrated because offensively, I think he wanted to do better this year. And he came on towards the end. I think he's going to be fine. But I was like, just keep working. That's another thing. He was on tee all the time. I was like, there's going to be a time. It's going to come. You work hard, it's going to come. And literally days later, he gets the winning hit in the regional game. And it's just awesome to see that. It's awesome to see a kid work hard and do that. And these boys did that from, like I said, from 1 to 15. Multi-hit game, Little Falls, and we'll get to your awards. So he had the Varsity Award, State Semifinalist Certification Award, the PIN, Sectional Regional Champ Award, State Semifinal Sportsmanship Award, which is cool. He got that at Chatham that day. And for our team award, he's getting the Gold Glove. Thank you, Gabe. Now, when I meet people buy in, this is one guy I could say he bought in probably the most in some ways. And you can say that about everyone, but it's tough being a guy that's not in every inning, or someone that you want to be in more. There's a few of us on a team like that, and very capable. And there's a few guys in here. If I go say I go put him on another team, he's starting. All right, he came up big beginning of the year for us. We had some guys out, and I don't think he even expected it. And we called on him like, you're starting left field. So right at the start, he had big at bats, stepped up and left, and I want to say the first 4 games he had hits for us. Bat got a little quiet after that, but it's tough when you're a guy that doesn't have as many at bats, doesn't have a ton of bats, and you call on him, and you can't you can't expect them to come in and go hit a double or go have 3 or 4 hits. But it's awesome when you can have that expectation where he's going to give it his all. And that's one thing he did. And the team could vouch for that. You know, he was every game he couldn't talk. And I'm sure his mom said, he'd come back and go, Coach, I see him in school next morning. Coach, lost my voice. And he cheer us on. He became our pinch runner. So if we needed speed, he's an exceptional base runner. Banksy saw that early in the year. If we needed a runner, he came in. He got in 3 playoff games, I believe, and ready to go. And that's tough. Anything's tough coming off cold. Having the guts to do that. So, you know, I'm proud of that, Keegan. We come off and, you know, we'll say something in the middle, like between innings, get people going. And I'm frustrated. I think he might have even seen it. He's coming out past me, and I'm ready to, you know, give my speech. No reason, or what are we here for? And Keegan comes in, he goes, I got it. And it was perfect because he got them quiet. And I don't even know exactly what he said, but after that, we were ready to go. So just having a guy come in and do that, and we look over and I'm like, that's awesome. You know, and just to have a kid buy in and do that. Keegan, great job. Very proud of you. Your awards, you're getting the Varsity Award, State Semifinalist Certification Award. You're getting the PIN, Sectional Regional Championship Award. And thanks again. Look forward to next year. His average 385, third on the team. He's got a 461 on base percentage, third on the team. 474 slugging percentage, fourth on the team. 26 runs, second on the team. 1 home run, second on the team. 30 hits, third on the team. 19 RBIs, second on the team. 10 base on balls, third on the team. Pitching, 3.5 ERA, 10 innings, 14 Ks, and he had 5 saves this year, which is first on the team. I've never had a closer on any of the teams I've coached. I've never even had, honestly, a closer maybe 1 year in college on the teams I've played on. It's just not something you get a lot. And I know a few of our guys had this. It's not something he necessarily loved. We kind of had to work to that point. But, you know, this year he accepted it. You know, he went in and he got bullpens just like everybody else. And it was huge. You know, I really feel if we don't have him close certain games, we don't get where we get to go. You know, I look at the Westmoreland, that final game. You know, Colin goes hard. He comes in, bases loaded, no outs. And we're like, he's not striking these kids out. He struck all 3 out. And I'm like, that just happened. Like, you know, that doesn't happen. You come in and he's got that confidence. He's got that demeanor of, I just want to go. And it's, you know, he's probably one of the most competitive kids I've coached. And because of that, you know, we've butted heads a few times because of that. It's okay, though. It's okay. He wants to win. And I know it's, you know, there's certain times, you know, some things might come out hard. But he wants to win. He wants everybody on the team to do well. You know, he's that leader. And you have to be. When you're a catcher, you got to be that leader that's not scared to take charge. Like, you can look out and say, like, let's go. You know, third, you got to go there. Short, you got to go there. And to have someone that's that catcher and also that closer, that's huge. Proud of that, Brett. You know, he's a 4-hole hitter who bunts. And I can tell you that there's not many 4-hole hitters that will do that. It's because it's an ego thing. And it's tough. You know, everyone's been there, and he never has that. He actually would give me signs. Between Banksy and Brett, we'd look, and Brett would be coming up. He'd go like this or go like that. We would communicate before the pitch came. And I tell you what, that was fun. We actually had one. It was from Brett to me. Then I went to Jake back to Brett, and we called the bunt off. He ended up hitting a double. So, like, that's how bought in these kids were. Where not only did they know the signs, they were giving me signs. And I'm telling you, it was just something special that last 3-4 weeks of the year. But, you know, to buy in, he put down some suicides, some safety squeezes. When Creedon stole home, that was actually a squeeze play, and he actually pulled back because Creedon was there. So that's something that I've never seen before either. So that's awesome. Brett, like I said, proud of you. You know, keep working. Enjoy your senior year. And, you know, make sure you do what you're doing. You know, we keep our path. Everything that happened this year, we all learn. We learn from it, and we keep going. So those seniors or juniors become seniors. And I'm not calling out anything like that. I'm just saying that this is why we're a family. We can say that. And anything can happen through a year. But just know from what we took, the ups and downs of this year, take it and bring that into next fall. Bring it into this summer, next fall, the football. Keep rolling. His awards are the Varsity Award, State Semifinalist Certification Award, PIN, Sectional Regional Championship Award. He was CSC 1 First Team All-Star, and he just got actually Mohawk Valley All-Star, which is coming out middle of July. He's also getting the Team Leadership Award. Thanks, Brett. Can't wait for next year. Love post every year. And this year he's having a big year. There were some big games this year where one that comes to me, he had a pinch hit in Canastota where he came up, ripped a shot. You remember that? I just think that's hard. Comes off the bench. He was playing the second half and smoked the line drive. Bishop Ludden, that was tough. Where he didn't get a few playoff games. Now all of a sudden he's in a semifinal Section 3 game where some people don't even get to, and you made 3 or 4 catches. It was no problem. So it just proves to me that's all right, he can play there. So when I'm looking at that, and I'm just we have so many guys that can play in those spots. That's when I'm all right, we're going to be okay. Squeeze bunts. I don't know if you guys remember this. He had 2 squeeze bunts home at Lowville. Successful. I think we had a suicide and a safety. And I've never seen that happen. We had close to 10 this year that we attempted, and it was automatic with Brock. All right, Colin. I'm going to start this off because this is pretty cool. Coach Ball and I, we're around each other a lot at school, and Coach Ball is a great guy, great coach, and we'll fight over players here and there. And Colin's a football guy, so that's the funny part. The thing he broke my chops about the most, he got an award early in the year. It was a Player of the Week from Rome Paper. Remember an interview we had to do? And it was a football pitcher because they couldn't size the baseball pitcher that I sent in. So they're like, oh, we just used this football pitcher. So I go to the weight room in the first period, and Coach Bowles like, look at this football pitcher, Player of the Week. I'm like, all right. So just funny, but just like a lot of our guys, multi-sport athlete, and the cool part is he was dead set on football, and once we had the success and he was having a lot of fun, he's not sure now. He's thinking baseball. I just told mom and dad the other day, though, I think whatever sport he's in, he's going to want to go to college or next level for that sport. But it's pretty cool to see it within a year, see him change, especially after last summer. I actually felt bad for weeks when he, last inning, break his ankle. And it's just I was like, why can't I break my ankle? I don't need it walking out to the third base or something, you know what I mean? But you just feel bad for a kid when that happens. But he got through that. He got through that, and I'm going to go through stats now. So his average, he was .465, which is second on the team. On-base percentage was .521, second on the team. Slugging percentage was .744, second on the team. Runs were 31, first on the team. RBIs, 27, first on the team. Doubles, 9, second on the team. Hits, 40, first on the team. And stolen bases, 10, second on the team. Going to pitching. Now, pitching. He's another one that didn't really love pitching. I would say until this year, to be honest. Starting to like it a little bit more. He loved to hit, loved to play third, and I'm just like, Colin, we need you to throw. Was hurt, didn't get to throw a lot this fall, but he's in the weight room all the time. And that's one thing. He's in there more than anyone else. Twice a day. He keeps wanting to get better. And the biggest thing that I told him, even before our regional game, I said, Colin, another one, you're a great role model. He's humble. He's confident. He works hard. And that first one's huge. It's easy to get, cocky and walk around like you own the place. He does not do that. He works hard, and what he gets, he deserves. So pitching, when he found out that when you put the ball in his hand, you can win games, that's when he started liking it. He's like, I want it. I think after, that Little Falls game, he's like, I'm okay with it. I want it. So he had 9 wins, which was first. 85 strikeouts, first in the team. 1.245 ERA, which is first in the team. Most innings, a no-hitter, and he had 6 complete games, which is a huge number. going to the record board, we had a couple guys get on the record board. So we actually have it on the TV now. Last year, he actually got on second in average, 625 he hit last year. So he's second overall in school history. And this year, he's now second in hits with 40. So now he's second overall in hits, which was awesome. And he had 2 home runs this year, which is second on the leaderboard. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was like the home run call.
There we go.
That's right. But that's awesome. I mean, that's something cool, especially, you can be up there. And, now our team's going to be up there. We're going to be up for that sectional and that regional final. They're going to be in the champion. Now, if you've been in the school, you guys see that did a really nice job of we have like the new wall with all the players on it. And it has like I think it's the champion wall. They're going to we're going to have our team picture and a sectional championship forever now. And I get to walk by that a lot. So I'm going to walk by that and smile for the next few years. But he's up there individually too, which is awesome. Go to the awards. He had a varsity letter. He had a PIN state semifinalist certification award. He was CSC Player of the Year, CSC 1 Player of the Year. He was CSC 1 First Team All-Star. He just got picked for the First Team All-CNY, First Team All-Star. He was nominated for the All-CNY Player of the Year, which that was tough. I've never been part of it. He hasn't been part of that. We went up there, and I tell you what, and I'm not being biased because it's our team and it's Colin. He should have got it. His stats were higher. I was talking with Don about it the other day, even before he went up there. He's like, they like Syracuse guys. Don was kind of getting me prepped for it. And it's an honor to be there. There's like 300 people there. It was at the North Syracuse Junior High. And the tough part was all the other sports, they had a small school and a big school award. So like for football, for soccer, so they picked a small school player of the year and a big school player of the year. Then it got to spring. I really think they were just tired. Spring's tiring, I know. And they were just like, we're doing all in one. And we were like, what? They didn't tell me that. So there was 5 for D through 2A. So he was up there, his pitch was up there, but ended up being a 2A kid from FM, which the 2A kid batted 385 and Colin batted 465. So, and there's more stats than that too. Not that I'm looking, but very, very proud of him. It was awesome to be there for that too. He was also nominated All Mohawk Valley All-Star, which is going to be, like I said, mid-July, and sectional and regional play. Looking forward to next year, and before I close, I just got to give the big games. So he had no-hitter. He had the no-hitter against Sherburne Earlville, Mount Markham. Big game, and that's the game I said I'd get back to. And that's that was a big game to me. Everyone was tired. We got off the long bus ride. What did we have, 5 or 6 games? And there's different times where he was crazy or I was crazy. I would say that game, I lost my mind. I was like just screaming. And I'm running around like a little kid. I'm like, we have to win this game. And that was one of the few games that Colin wasn't himself. You were tired. You were down. He didn't hit for a few games. He's mad. And I remember, I'm just like, I'm in Colin's face, but you got to go. Like, we got to get after it. I don't know what I said to you or what I did, but he did. He pushed through. And that was a big game. I think the toughest games when you're sick or you're tired and you can push through. He completed that game. He ended up having a huge hit. And that game, that clinched us into the playoffs. And that was later in the year. And then we kind of went on a run. But I feel like if we don't fight through that, we're not tough. We don't push through that. We were down 2-0, I believe, thinking back, until like the 6th inning. We had scored 3 runs. So, it was a huge game. This game I had to talk about. He had 4 playoff wins this year. He had a Section 3 championship win and a regional championship win. Little Falls, 2 home runs. And the win on the mound, beating that, 2 undefeated teams. And that Chatham game, it's a 1-0 game. Up until that 7th inning. And I never, I don't like talking about umps. You're not supposed to argue balls and strikes. But we all know he got pinched. So he threw a great game that game. I think he strikes that kid out. We go into the bottom of the 7th, 1-0. I think we win. So, nothing to hang our heads about. But that, that's how we finish the year. So, very proud of you, Colin. Thank you. Look forward to next year. Came and I was like, that's awesome. This kid's a player. So Dominic actually still remembers that. So those are little things that like I'll probably tell you like 10 years from. You remember that? Get my kid a Jordan shirt. You're like, Coach, you all right? But just we're gonna miss you. Creedon really came on as a center fielder. You know, he covers a lot of ground. It's gonna be tough, really tough to fill. I actually remember, and this is going way back. This was at SUNY, a junior Whitestown game. Do you remember this? This might have been like 3 or 4 years ago. You made 2 plays behind other outfielders. We had young outfielders that didn't play outfield, and I'm like, Creed, you got to go after everything. So he made 1 behind the left fielder and 1 behind the right fielder. You guys remember that? And that's when I'm like, all right, we got a center fielder. You know, so we're going to go. And he actually loved catching early on, and that's when I'm like, another one that bought in. You know, potential, his speed, his athleticism. He had to be out there. He helped us out there. Big games. You know, Mount Markham, big offensive night. Senior night, I already said big night. Chatham, another one. One of our 2 hits and 2 stolen bases. All right. That rundown, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It might be the same. Benny, right? He threw. I don't know if he threw like the Converse on and started going. I'm like, holy cow! And then you take a deep breath. All right, we got to score this run. He just like that doesn't happen. Stole home. People are like, Coach, what? Wow, that was amazing. How'd you do that? I did nothing. That guy did that. You know, that was huge. You know, stuff like that. Just not scared to make a big play. And you know, that's what we were. Wasn't satisfied. He wanted to keep going. Gonna be missed. Another one. You were put in for a bunch of work. You easily could have got all CNY, all Mohawk Valley. You know that. And like that quote I read, you know, when someone gets an award, it's all of us. He got the Varsity Award, you know, State Attorney Certification Award. He was CSC 1 honorable mention. He got the PIN. He got the Sectional Regional Award. And he got an actual plaque. So there's actually 3 plaques. I didn't actually say all of them, but this is the one here. But pretty cool Wildcat Award team plaque. And that Wildcat Award goes to the guy that from the start to finish, he bought in. He did anything I asked. And just someone that you really want on your team. All right. We actually gave the other one to Jake. Jake got Offensive Player of the Year, and Colin got MVP. So those 3 got those team plaque awards. But this one's huge too. And Creed, appreciate everything you did. We missed.
We missed it.
All right. I only got like 30 minutes left. You got to sign these binders. And, no, I'm just kidding.
All right. We're going to miss you. We'll see you next season.
See you next year.
See you football.
Yep.
Hey, I wish we could be at the sideline so we could be more close to see you.
Yeah. I'll listen for you.
Yep. So the others, like, yeah, thank you. Creedon. He's been a ball assist the whole entire season. So, we missed him. That's Gabe, Jerry. You guys are awesome.
See you later, boys.
Peace.
I gotta go play some baseball.
I know. Colin, I want to wrap this up right now. Colin, you have a tremendous baseball season.
Thank you.
Hey, we'll see you in football season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See you later.
We missed the seniors. Peace. Max.
What's up?
Time April.
Yep.
You killed it. Your pitching was unbelievable.
Thank you.
You would definitely, no doubt, come back.
Yep.
You're going to improve. Creedon. I am still not forgetting that soccer field with that guy.
He's a loser.
Hey, but let's wrap it up. See you next season. Unbelievable. You guys deserve it more than anyone else. You're the best ever. Keep grinding. Never stop. Never say never. One play at a time. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Peace.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Hey, one thing. You're not a football player, right?
No, I am.
Okay, which position you play again?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Oh, yeah. Keep grinding it. Feel cold at a 40 goal.
Yep.
You got it. Hey, let's wrestle.
Yes, sir.
Football. Let's go.
See ya.
Have a great summer.
You too.
Oh, boy.
Great. Yeah.
Whew. Did you get Banksy yet?
Oh, let's start with Big
No,
Fish.
you're gonna start with Julio.
All right. What a season. It's unbelievable. But, hey, I'm so proud of you. I know you say you're not We're not the better coach than the others, but hey, at least you try. But hey, you know what? I am so proud of you.
That's right. It's all you can do is try.
Yep.
Give your 110. Get after it.
Back in.
Till next year. Next year we'll be back at it.
Football season for the
Football
Wildcats.
season,
It's coming up.
basketball, then back to spring, the best season.
Don't forget, you got the link.
Hey, what are the words you say?
Never say never. One play at a time. No reason.
No reason. Peace.
Peace. Subscribe. And also,
You're doing basketball?
No. Just talking about they go through all the games.
thanks. What?
What's up, dude?
What I gotta say.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Peace.
Mike. Hey, Sunday, but we'll make sure you don't know, but hey, we'll see you in the flip flop.
That's right. See you on the flip flop.
And don't forget about that kid, your kid.
That's right. I
Hey. See you, buddy.
see ya. We'll see ya. Hopefully Sunday.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Peace. Come on.
We gotta go.